Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to say, call aloud.
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rukakadas.
Devil understood our elders and the apostles and elders of all Israel, the elders of great millstone. Devil honors once again to them, shalom, and salutation to the hopeful elect. I keep out there spreading the gospel throughout the four corners of the earth, the spirit and truth. Send their bodies as a living sacrifice that the scriptures teach us to do. All right, we love the true Israelites, the so-called Negroes, the Latinos, Native Americans, and our sons, that they look like the need to do. All right, shalom to the American sisters that do this as well. We brothers who do it again, so Chicago Gap, the Metabolic Ranch. We got a special great guest, the Elder Doctor, shopping with us today.
That's right.
We all get the TV today. Because the spirit, I said the Elder shopping with us. We all get the TV today. But yeah, nevertheless, we here again, prophesying the downfall of this president of the world, man. As usual, you brothers can get Jeremiah 28:8.
That's right. That's Jeremiah 28:8. But the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's why we out here today. You know what I mean? Prophesizing this downfall of Idumea, aka America, Mystery Babylon. Their time is up. So I'll go back to that.
Very, very condemning evidence against the enemies. And he called for Deuteronomy 28. Jeremiah 28. And you know what, in my head I read Deuteronomy. But nevertheless, go ahead and go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter. And go to the 68th verse. And then after I read this, you know, whatever the spirit.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And on a personal note, to a lot of other Israelites, this was the most convincing scripture in all the Bible, because it was beyond plain. Right? It filled in all the gaps and it made so much sense. But here in 2018, at the University of Tel Aviv, that's in the land of Israel, all right, it says, the Jewish Blackness Thesis Revisited by Ron HaKohen. It says, Department of Literature, Tel Aviv University of Israel, the abstract note, and this was received this was an email that was sent June 20th of 2018. And an article was published on July 20th of 2018. All right, and it says the abstract notion that in previous centuries Jews were considered to be black or seen as blacks has gained broad acceptance in scholarly discourse on the Jewish body since the early 1990s. Yes. And it says the present article considered the notion analytic, right? So that means intelligence, because it's beyond evident. The evidence is overwhelming. There's evidence that goes as high as Mount Everest, man, to proving that the Israelites was a dark complected people and exactly who they are. They just choose to ignore the evidence. And I guess you can do that when you own the media and all the printing presses. All right? But it says, and then examine some of the evidence provided to support it. Much of this evidence does not stand critical examination. Therefore, arguably, the notion of Jewish blackness should be reconsidered. So they're saying that with all this evidence, it should all be reconsidered. Because, and you know what, it shouldn't have to be reconsidered. It should have been considered the moment you heard it. All right? keywords, oh, never mind. That was it. Keywords, Jewish body, Jewish blackness, Jewish blackness. All right, so, I mean, the evidence is overwhelming. So, we always tell you, all right, that when you go to Sweden, you go to Denmark and Germany, and we go back there to the 1300s to 12th century, back to the days of what was the character's name that Mel Gibson played? William Wallace. Right. You go back to them days. Those weren't white people. You know, Hollywood, they made all this money propagating a lot. That's why it took me so long. I think when I finally watched Vikings, it already had been out 3 or 4 years. Right? Because I knew the truth, and I just got, and then they making money, hand over fist off these lies. You know, you got people walking around that's talking funny. You know, they're like, you can talk like that all you want, man. That don't make you look. You don't need them. You're not the Irish. You're not the Scots. You're not the Brits. You're not the Danes. You know, you were not Utrecht. You were not Robert the Bruce. You weren't William Wallace. You were none of that. That's overwhelming evidence that those people were so-called Negroes.
All the same.
Look. Yeah, exactly. Now hold on, wait. You could be an Edomite, still be a Saxon, right? But you can't be an Edomite and be an angelic son, an Anglo-Saxon. There's the difference. See, there's a difference because they are Saxons because they're sons of Isaac too. Their problem is that they're not sons of Jacob.
Right.
So being a Saxon really don't matter. What matters is being an angelic son of Saxon.
Yes.
Right? Being a son of Jacob. That they're not. So they can claim that they're Saxon. The Edomites can walk around saying that they're Saxons because they are. Right? They can say they're Hebrew because they are. They're Hebrew Edomites though. That's the problem. Right? Go ahead.
This is Zechariah 9:6. And the bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
Right? And see, and he cut off the pride of the Philistines, Palestinians. None of them belong there. All right? And you know, what's that picture that we have? No. It's a Winston Simplified Encyclopedia Dictionary with the biblical references in it. All right? You know, when you go to those old books from anything, as a matter of fact, anything from 71 down is decent. Anything from the 30s and down is good. And anything from the 20s on back is great. That's why it's so hard to find. Yeah, if you find a dictionary from like the turn of the century, like the 19th century or late 1800s, man, they incriminate themselves. But one of the definitions from bastard, which has been removed from modern day dictionaries, is false. They tell you, I have a 1930 thesaurus, you know how words, what they call synonyms, antonyms, right? Words, they mean the same thing, right? And when I looked up bastard, they said false, fake, phony, fraudulent. All those words are connected to that word. And literally, it had all these words. It said false, fake, phony, fraudulent.
I gotta call a nigga fraudulent.
So read that again. Y'all so fraudulent. We're gonna put all of those words where bastard is. So go ahead.
And a fraudulent. Oh, you want me to read it regular first?
Yeah.
And a bastard, Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
So you can add fraudulent.
And a fraudulent shall dwell in Ashdod. And a fake shall dwell in Ashdod.
Phony.
And a phony shall dwell in Ashdod. And an imposter shall dwell in Ashdod.
That's basically what it's telling you, man. So you know, I learned that from Apostle Gabar early on in this truth. That you have to really look up the meaning of words. And knowing the true meaning of words makes it really easy to teach. All right, and it makes it easy to correct people.
That's right.
And when people come against the gospel to put them in that place. All right, that's one of the problems with people like vocab, no precepts, no law.
That's
Right? That's what he doesn't really. And then it's funny too how since the elders came on and started teaching, and since all the prophets have that were woken up through them started teaching. Now all of a sudden, you got everybody doing sit downs.
Exactly.
Like you said, you even got the pimps doing sit downs now. That know they Israelites, wicked ass. Right? All right? But nevertheless, now all of a sudden you got guys going to the blue letter. Christian.
Yeah.
So if you're going to the blue letter, then that means you should understand that the one thing you want to share together, which is John 3:16, then you should be a Christian in the blue. Right?
That's the spirit when you said no precepts alone, I had my head in it. I said, that Paul says in John 3:16 in the feet. And when the elder, as he was thinking, of course I was, want to let him get it all out. But it made me think when he was going back to how the elder was talking about how dictionary from the 20s or the source, the encyclopedia from the 20s on back. A big point about why they wasn't scared to put that in there, because a lot of our people couldn't read.
A lot of they people couldn't.
They couldn't write, exactly. A lot of them damn bushwhackers couldn't read, so everything the politician or the preacher or the chairman said, it was what it was. See, and that's why it should show you Negroes, all right, and these Negroes out there that's acting the goddamn fool that this could be nothing but the truth. As the Lord Yahweh Shah said, I will give them a mouth of wisdom. See, we can't make this up, man. And like the elder pointed out, this don't be happening at the mother camps. Non-GMS camps.
GMO babies.
Right. Or like-minded.
Bring it up, brother. Bring it up.
This is Luke 21, verse 15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And that's a part of the reason why they even themselves, now they gotta go to the blue letter game. Let me go see what they say. Because you can't resist what we saying. So you're gonna go do your own research. And then you're gonna be confounded when you do that. Alright? That's what's happening to a lot of these Edomites, man. They come to a realization, everything matches up, everything's secular. What can we say? Look at our track record. Our track record was already prophesied before we even did it. So hey, this truth can't be gainsayed, or gain spoken against, or resisted in general, man.
Yeah. They found out things, and it's literally like every day there's a new video surfacing of an Edomite condemning Edomite behavior, right? And it's usually women more so than men.
That's right.
But nevertheless, it's always an Edomite man or woman, basically fed up with this society, fed up with the way the world is going, and admitting that it's Edomite fault and Edomite behavior, and admitting that, hey, look, and then they all just say this. And then just admitting that they know that the Lord was so-called black. It's like every day another video clip, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, or whatever platform it comes on. It's just non-stop. The harder that, and it's funny that I find it that we know that they get ready to do the setup. That they're gonna use deep fakes, and their technology, and they're gonna trying to make us the problem. And some of us are going to be brought forth before they judge us in their courts and things like that. Because you had two instances almost a day apart. You have what I believe is a completely staged video with the gun and Mike Tyson and the guy saying Shalom. All right. Then you had and then you have the next event. You had Eve, that unholy alliance with Esau. All the people that could have been judges, all the men, they picked the nigga woman. All right. You know, because hey, look, it's so evident, man. Almost every movie, and I'm not talking about the Israelite one.
The blackest bitch on the
about
planet.
the nigga one. Right?
Blacker than my mom.
Right. I was gonna say, this person is now, I believe she's in charge of the Supreme Court. I believe she can't even define the word woman. See what I'm saying? How somebody with that high in office cannot define something so simple? That means that this entire world, like the scriptures say, it's all going to be upside down. All the foundations are
actually it's getting ready to get turned up right side up. That's what's going to happen.
They showed that, I was going to say real quick, they showed that Batman, I hate to spoil the movie for those who ain't seen, but with the black lady with the bed, and the next day he was on YouTube flipping out. He's trying to put these blacks.
Yeah.
These blacks. It was a good movie, goddamn. You get 3 niggas in the movie, you want to have a damn heartbeat after centuries of lying about who Lord was.
Come on. And we just talk. Look, you done made money hand over fist. Do you know how much money that the 300 made when it came out?
Yeah.
How much money it made after the fact? DVD sales, you know, cosplay. It made all kind of money. Hey, we got newsflash. The 300 was not white people.
Message.
They were not white men. All right? They weren't. So, you know, so when you actually learn real history, man, in the gates on this, and they actually get angry because you look, when you bring out the truth, all of a sudden you un-American.
Yeah.
Un-American. You bring out truth. That's un-American. Why? Because we bring it out. We're showing you that people of color in a time period when you made books and money hand over fist, saying that they were white.
I got that.
Okay?
You got it?
Yeah, go get the one in Wisdom of Solomon too, I think. 15th or the 14th chapter. When it had the Father, morning.
On God's ear.
Go ahead, brother.
This is 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. And laid open the book of the law.
Go up about 2 verses. Yeah, 45.
This is 1 Maccabees 3 and 45. Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out.
Right, because you had imposters in there at this time. The first time. Go ahead.
The sanctuary also was trodden down.
Because you had 400 years of Greek Hellenization, where it was a crime to speak the truth. It was a crime to declare who you are. Yeah. You couldn't say that you are from the line of Judah, but yet you couldn't say that you was from the line of Judah.
That's right.
You couldn't circumcise your children. The women, they were killing the women and their babies when they found that they were circumcised. Okay? Alright, so you have 400 years of Hellenization, which Christians love to ignore that 400-year period. So when it gets to the point where it says there's neither Greek nor Jew, right? It's talking about all those Israelites who were converted to the Greekish fashion. But go ahead.
The sanctuary was also trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold.
Yep, so it was full of heathens, man. And if they look, they were sacrificing swine's flesh, abominable things. They were having sex in our temple. They were doing all kinds of things. That's what made the Maccabees rise up. They started putting swords to them, man. Right, go ahead.
The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp ceased.
So the people who had a zeal for the Lord, man, you know, they were heartbroken. They were angry.
Rightfully so.
All right, and rightfully the same as we are today. We're heartbroken and we're angry, man. All right? Because as much as we hate the 2/3, it still breaks our hearts, man.
God.
All right?
All things are double, like the elder said, as much as we hate the 2/3, just like the right, you can see some nigga, right? Some Jake or, you know, any type of Jake. You can see him sleeping under a bridge or some shit. And on one side, you'd be like, man, the Lord jacked his ass up and put him there, he must have been wicked. But on the other coin, you'd be like, man, that's a fucked up situation. We really out here. So all things are double. One against each other. You really got to think about this full spectrum, which makes you mad and angry. We fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Mashpah over against Jerusalem, for in Mashpah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel.
So they started trying to rehearse the righteous acts. Same thing we're doing now. You know, by trying to keep the law to the best of our ability. You know, taking the time to learn our heritage and try to imitate what our forefathers did on the Passover.
That's right.
You know, we're trying, right? They're trying to keep the holy, the righteous ways as much as we can within this prison, which is Babylon, right? Because we can't fully keep our laws here, all right? Because if we did, we'd end up in prison or dead, all right? Especially, you know, if you go and do Leviticus 20 and 13, you know, which is what we should be able to do every day until this place is clean, but we can't do that. Go ahead.
Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads.
Which was a custom. We would break our clothes, cast ashes, and we would mourn, man. That's right. Why? Because they came into the temple and what they see.
And they rent their clothes and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So not only have they desecrated our temples, they have opened up our book and the heathen paint their pictures in it, like they, our forefathers, like they did.
Right.
You know?
And they got some wicked ass Michelangelo Dave where he's butt naked. How the fuck he's standing there butt naked with the last rod? This supposed to be King David.
No, you're right.
That shit right under that Serapis Christi Caesar Borgia, that's the most wickedest one, man. I really be wanting to clip the Edomite, man. When you read the scriptures and understand who King David really is, man, a man after the Lord's own heart. His whole, like, to just take our king and turn him to this fucking, I really want to say that word.
Well, they turned him into a moat.
Yeah. Standing there with the last rod.
So you know what? That's more stripes.
No beard.
They gotta pay for that.
Like the Apostle Gabbar say, no beard.
You can put up this fake image. You put up a fake image of both our kings.
Right. Wicked, man.
Both our kings. Our king. Right. The King Yahushua and King David. Y'all gotta pay, man.
You gotta pay. Hey, this brother gave me. Well, we was talking to when we was up there in war. We ran into the Christian pastor there. We destroyed them. But I wish we still had that video. But
Pastor
in them. Yeah, this roof ass nigga. But the thing about it was the elder brother Kapatazak had brought out an analogy about the JC, Caesar Borgia imagery. He said, you got a daddy. He told the dude, he said, you got a daddy, right? He said, yeah. He said, you know how he look? He said, yeah. He said, one of you went to his funeral and I was in the casket. And my that's how he feel about the Lord.
God.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
That's a great analogy,
you know your father.
That's the best one I've heard.
Right? You know your father's father. You know what he looked like. You used to play with him when you was little.
Right.
He took you to the ball game.
You got mine,
He took you to the museum. He took you to all the places that was evidence, which is basically the condemning evidence that you were wicked, you were crooked, and you were a thief. Right? Because that's right. Because every museum is evidence of your thievery, of your colonization. Right? Every zoo is evidence of your cruelty and how you like to take the most beautiful thing. How you gonna take a bird, right, and put him inside a habitat, and then put a net over it so he can only fly 2 feet. He can go up to the tree, but that's all he can do. Or a damn killer whale, you got his ass in the pool, where he can swim the length of the pool in 3 seconds. You know, back in both directions. And you talking about a beast, a creature that was born to swim 100 miles in a day.
Sea to sea.
You know? You know?
Now, like Wisdom Simon tells you, that how he leaves his token in every place. Wherever Esau goes, it's something left behind to let you know that he's been there, man. But he also said that that was enfeebled, it's trying to be of nothing worth. So as long as
go ahead and get that. That's 2 like 10 and 11. Yeah, because these places are evidence of your thievery. So, so you remember your grandfather,
right?
And now you go to your grandfather's funeral, in Leroy Land, You know, what's the closed casket?
He said
you know,
Leroy.
Leroy sitting there with a Newport and saxophone. Right, you know?
That nigga Leroy is a proud boy.
Right. You like, what the? This is, what, right? That's not grandfather. You know, you mad.
And that's how we feel when we read about King David, Ezekiel, Habakkuk, Obadiah, Hosea. Then you get to turn on the fucking TV. You got E up there looking like a fucking cornflake, but you know, y'all
Talk about he Gucci the everywhere.
you ain't nobody, nigga. You a dork in the surf, at best.
You was a dude who shoveling shit,
Yeah.
right?
Look what they did to our rainbow, man. Okay, they took all of our most precious things and they made them all vow.
God.
I got something. What you got?
We was Simon too, and shoot, let me get damn man.
It's 10, 11.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere around
Okay.
there.
We was Simon 2 and 10. So let us oppress the poor and righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient ways of the age. Let our spirits be the law of justice, that was the feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore, let us be. That's it. Based on that point, you know, and that's the Esau main agenda, man. If he can conquer you, he's gonna oppress you, man.
And that makes him right. Because he'll give a scale what's right and what's wrong. And what I found from my own personal experience, once you prove Esau is right, I mean that Esau is wrong and that you're right, then he just goes for his might after that. And it's like, well, then I might, and a perfect example of that is my personal experiences with the Supreme Court. A lot of brothers don't realize that my lawsuit against Esau's wicked system, it's not in the state court, it's in the Supreme Court. So there's a Supreme Court justice that I've defeated them. To the point to where they're stumped. You know, they refuse to rule on my case to give remedy because it's going to destroy the whole system. It's going to set a precedent. So it's just sitting there. Now the good part of it is they can't do anything to me. They can't enforce their wickedness on me and lock me up. But the flip side of it is they let the numbers just pile up, and the interest pile up, and letting the numbers pile up. They can't enforce it. But what it does, it fucks up my credit.
Right.
You know, it's like, so I got them, and it's like a double submission. I got them in a submission. That's right. We trying to see who gonna tell first. That's right. That's literally what we at.
Y'all playing chicken with each other.
But what really makes them angry is that this guy who's just supposed to be a nigga.
That's what it comes down to.
A damn spigger, whatever they want to call me, all right? A spig bro, right? You know, I don't have a $150,000 degree that I got from Harvard or Yale, but yet I stumped these Supreme Court judges and all these lawyers. They trying to figure out how the fuck did this nigga, you know? And it's funny because when I walk into the office, all the people in the office now know me. They start whispering.
Again.
Yeah, they start, yeah.
And guarantee they're gonna be all the upcoming people that we hold, they gonna be studying.
Oh yeah. Because once they get rid of the law, they switch back to their might. And so that's them pulling might. Because ain't nobody else's case sitting in the judge's queue for 2 fucking years.
And all those fellas use violence, man. You know
They might just want to just come off, man.
Hey.
Thomas said that our street be the law of justice, man.
Yeah, because you see that in movies all the time, man. They give away $1 billion businesses. They just get rid of you. You met with a horrible accident. Right? I just watched it. Listen, I highly suggest you brothers watch it. I just watched the Lawyer's Secretary. I watched Halo season 1, and there's a scene. I did a video. There's a scene with a little chick. Her name was Quan something. I'm trying to remember her name. Little Moabite chick. She was decent too.
She off the market.
But the chick, she was a lone survivor in her little colony of an attack, you know, of these big, gigantic, dark aliens. You know who they really are. All right? and then, you know, what's his name? Master Chief and his Spartan show up. You know, about 5 or 6 of them. And they defeat all these things, and they annihilate everyone. Women, children, they were straight Ezekiel 9 and 4. Right? They spared nobody. It's like, oh, you think because you little, you don't die, you get the truth. And basically, they were bringing, and she survived, and they were bringing her back to the, you know, to the stronghold, to the union, whatever they call the space thing of all these different nations. And they were asking her to speak so that, you know, before all the other rebel colonies, for her to be a spokesperson, to speak, you know, good words of how the Spartans came and helped her. But she was like, well, yeah, he said, and then she said again, y'all came for these own enemies, right? They didn't come there to save us. They came there to kill these things and get whatever they had, all right? And she said, look, my father spent his life trying to build a life for me and all my people, all the people in this little colony. And said he fought and saved and protected us all these years. And today he died trying to defend me and defend him. And he said, and you think that before my father's blood even gets cold, that I'm going to stand in front of those people and say good things about them?
God.
She said, what if I just tell them the truth? And so that bothered the people at the top so heavily, because I won't say nothing else about it. That's not really exposed. Because, you know, people might want to see it, probably might want to watch it. It's well worth it, really worth watching it. But they decided, but right then and there, the Master Chief was having a moment, because, you know, they got them all tricked out on drugs and stuff. Because he started doing things, and they monitored him, which means more than likely he's got the MOTV, right? And they're like, why is he doing it? You know? He started disconnecting stuff and taking stuff down. And he touched some object, which I say without what they call the Holy Spirit. He touched the Holy Spirit. He touched something. He touched an object, right, that these aliens had. They happen to be like 9 feet tall and dark. Just saying. All right? He touched something that they had, and he started having memories of his childhood and his family. He didn't know what it was. And so that's when he started getting it, because they got him all jacked up on stuff. He's just a killing machine. All right? So basically, what I viewed was the whole thing I got from it is that this Master Chief, this warrior, is waking up to who the real enemy is. And that made them afraid. And then they tried to put all his own warriors against him. But the warriors among themselves was like, they go after the Master Chief, and they go against us. Right. So even though they were with this army, they were like, we were him. Guys, right. You know, they were the elites of, right? You know, and the way I see it, I see that they look, that's the man of GMS, right? Yeah.
God.
All these other camps, right? Right? And we all woke up. And then that little, you know, that woman told the truth, and it put her life in danger. And now we told the truth. And brothers need to realize, man, we're marked. We are marked men. And guess what? If you somebody get a Sirach 4:28, all right, hit that as well.
Chapter 15 and verse 26. I'm starting at 25. It says, it seemed good unto us, being assembled with one accord, to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord, Yahushua Mashiach.
Right, and we do that. Right? We've hazarded our lives to do this.
That's right.
And when we come out here.
That's right.
Okay, because any moment, you know, the SWAT team decides dropping down, you know, you know, running down the sides of the building with pellet, you know, right, pull up and surround us.
That's right.
You know, and even worse, man, you got our own people running up, you know.
God.
That's right.
You know, trying to throw hands with us and shit. You know, I mean, it has happened. So we literally come out here and hazard our lives, man. But the scriptures say that, man. And like you said, somebody read that Sirach 4:28.
I got it. This is Sirach chapter 4, verse 28.
Like and subscribe.
Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
Yeah, that's this brother's channel. Like and subscribe. Really great something.
It's Sirach 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death.
Right. And some of us, we really in the spirit. We're holding and controlling our spirit. But there's some of us have the spirit on us. You can kick it off today, man. We can start Ezekiel 94 today. We feel that way. Right? We know that we can't act. We wait on the Lord. But we feel that way. All right? You know?
Their spirits created.
We also understand and know that we act without the Lord. That's our act. That's
God.
Right? We ain't stupid.
You gotta believe in His word.
But don't think that we don't feel that way.
Meditate to
Get it. Isaiah 33 and 18. Get it.
That's right.
I see this when I see niggas. Rich and Tina, man.
Yeah.
What? That's those niggas, man.
Yeah. And you know what? Being getting off and on public transportation, man. Especially the train. You really see it, man. I'm telling you, man. I could just get on the train. And the doors closed behind me, and I just John Wick everybody on that one.
The lights on.
Right? What was my man in that church scene in the Kingsman?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Right. Don't nobody walk off that train with me, man.
That's right.
That's how I feel with all the niggas on the goes.
Con.
Right?
That's that real. That going from the real.
It's Isaiah chapter 33, verse 18. It says, thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counted the tower?
So it's actually a holy thing. The scripture says
Right.
that wisdom makes you wiser than man. You can't learn something. You can't learn what we've learned and walk in this world. Turn on the TV and see what you see. Every television show got a woman and another woman busting the slide. Got two dudes busting the slide. You know, it don't matter what it is. From cartoons, from cartoons to movies, it's like they just gotta do it, man. I went to the bathroom, you know, because I do have a ritual. You know, I try to eat, you know, very, very clean. You know, come Friday, Saturday, I kind of loosen up a little bit. And one of my rituals when I'm on my way up to this camp, to this camp, which I'm gonna be rotating among these brothers for a while because our work schedule on Saturday got kind of heavy, and I'm not done early like I used to, so it's gonna be hard to get back south in time, you know.
Great.
So one of my scheduled routines is to go to Molly's. I go to Molly Cupcake. Go get me a cupcake, and then I come to camp. Molly's here's the thing.
And look at some cupcakes. Go get a cupcake and look at some cupcakes.
Yeah, in the end, it's usually a couple in there too. But I go, you know. But you know, everything done in moderation.
Con.
But
Eating that Molly's here, then.
yeah, you know that. You sick. Your blood pressure gonna go up. You're gonna get that extra stuff around your midsection and it ain't gonna be good.
No.
You like fat boy back there.
Hey, he said it.
Right.
Rod, you gonna be all broke.
Yeah, and that's true. Your blood is messed up. Your rod is messed up. You don't want that blood pressure issue. You don't want blood issues at all.
That's right.
Right? It's the blood flow. You know, you can have, you know, a lot of manliness. They don't matter if you can't make it. You know, so hey, you gotta be on that health kick. Like we already eating our blood. Eating our blood, our food defiled. Speaking of that, that's another thing you keep seeing in these movies: the eating and the drinking of blood.
Yep.
So you know, hey, so I got somebody sent me something. I sent it to a couple brothers, man. It was a chick, Edomite chick, opened up a thing in the floor. And it slid open the door, and then it was a long hallway, and when you walk down the hallway, it was a whole underground church.
Damn.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, if this ain't some eyes wide shut, I mean, I can only imagine the sex and blood sacrifices and murders and going on in this. And this was in somebody's house. It looked like they could fit about 200 people in that theater. And it looked like a closet. It looked like a closet. She opened the door, and then she pulled the door open on the floor. And then the camera, and the camera went and it walked down the stairway and it opened into a big ass theater. The theater was about as big as this space right here. Real tall.
It's a lot of wickedness.
And it's all underground. So yeah, it was some, they do all kind of ceremonies of wickedness in there.
Hey, like that show,
It was like
American
Eyes Wide
Horror
Shut.
Story bullshit, that the one you had us watch the 8th season with.
Oh yeah.
That one, remember when they went to the bunker? Yeah. That was a lot of blood, a lot of, like the elder said, weird sex rituals going on. Just go back to what he called for earlier, that wasn't Solomon 14. Because we go into that. After the devising of the idols, that's where the game started, man. All that madness, man. Y'all should bring that up. Bring that up. And then come out.
Yeah, because you know what, and it's funny, there's a lot of witchcraft connected to Catholicism.
Oh, yeah.
And that fake image, man. Because all those you got
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12. It says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Yes, and so basically, all these idols are the heathens, man. Why do the heathen praise? The idols are all, man, how you gonna pray to something that you made? You sit up there and I was a really good artist when I was young. I used to draw all the time. All right, and this, I imagine I still could if I just started doing it again, practicing. But I used to draw like whole comic book scenes and put them together. They'd be on my wall, man. Everybody be in awe, But I used to do it. I was good at it. All right, but how you gonna start worshiping something that you create? When I am created, I'm praying to my creation. Oh holy mighty muscle bound drawing in the wall. What? Is you crazy? Go ahead.
Verse 13 says, for neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vain glory.
I can't wait till the Lord destroy that gigantic church of down in the city of God. Yeah, they call it the city of God because of that statue. All right? And that was a wicked ass movie too, man. To show you how wicked the damn Asherites are. Even though that was what's her name? Alice Brasha, that was like starting together. So y'all can forget about that.
I was gonna say about those images, like the elder just talked about his paintings that his drawings that he put on the wall. There's only so much amount of time that those pictures are going to take.
Yeah, you know what? Because I left home and my nephew started coloring on the wall. And none of them left, man. He was trying. He was like, 2, 3 years old. So he done colored all over. I'm like, damn. Well, what can I do, man? He was like 2, 3 years old.
It says back again, Wisdom of Solomon 14:13. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vain glory of men they entered into the world.
Right. So all these. Hey, look. We can take a walk, and we're gonna hit. We can get downtown. It's about 4 or 5 churches down. All of them got false idols all over.
Whole lot of different.
Right?
Like rather than just build,
Yeah.
got the ram.
If you start looking, you'll see all kinds of images on a lot of buildings, especially the older buildings. Right? You start looking at the older buildings. Yeah, most of them great. Man, I mean, look at all the outlets on this brick road.
Weenie City.
All those basically, those are all penises pointing up to the sky.
Ovalises.
All right, you see that?
Yep.
All on this bridge right here.
Phallic symbols.
America, that's how you know you're in Egypt, man. You know that you're in spiritual Egypt. Damn near every bridge in Chicago got shit like that on it.
For by the vain glory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he hath made an image of his child.
And this is talking about Rico Bullshit, right? And he made the image of his son became legendary, right? And it's the most recognizable symbol in the world today. The most recognizable image in the world today. But the funny thing now is that it's also known to be the most fraudulent image. Right. Because most people say that's a false image now. But you go back, before this truth hit the internet, it was very few people saying it. That was people that knew. All right? That were even Edomites that knew, but they wouldn't tell you.
And I better treat you right on. I thought you was gonna tell me. Remember when me and you were talking to Noel Jones?
Same person though.
You remember?
Same person. Go ahead.
It says
no, that was no, this is prophecy.
It says, Wisdom of Solomon 14:15, for a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he hath made an image of his child, soon taken away, now honored him as a god.
And that's exactly what happened. Right?
Which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
Hey, go to what verse is that?
That's 15.
Jump to 22 and read that, because it goes back to that lineage being attached to all those false images. This is what Esau set up through JC, the doctrine of unaccountability.
Right, Serapis Christmas.
Serapis.
Same damn person.
Right, because that Serapis worship is the same thing that's later on with the Catholicism, man. All that wickedness, man. That Babylonianism. All of it the same. That Greek mythology, all of it just a ball of confusion, man. And this is the worst part.
This is Wisdom of Solomon.
And here's the thing, because they remade the remakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all those Grecian gods that they worship were all so-called black. I got books that got images of Hercules in it. He's black. So what did that mean? His father was older. What would they make older? Black, blonde, with blue eyes. All right. So all those, and it's all throughout history that early Europeans were worshiping black deities.
That's right.
All right, and they still, some of them still do. And what do? And you got to modern day, and they whitewash it and they sell it. They package it and they sell it. It's white people. Every cartoon, every movie you see the Greek gods come down. They all white. They all come down. They all come down and hit that same pose.
Right. Niggas that all do the same pose.
Right.
We ain't just all hit the same pose.
Right.
That's never in the history of niggas about.
They all hit that same bullshit pose.
Right.
The
concrete show up and sit
right.
Yeah, niggas, just take a picture of any iconic group of niggas. They got a different pose. I'll play it out. Go ahead.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, verse 22. It says, moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High.
Exactly.
But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace.
Right, all these plagues they call it peace, making their kids evil good, light was the darkness, dark for life. Hold that right quick, because it's going to get into all this nastiness, man.
It says, verse 23 says, for violence they slew their children in sacrifices.
Who does that?
And they still do that.
That's why that's all I thought about when he brought out that face.
Adrenal porn, man.
Yeah.
I was watching Monsters Inc. Right. And they were, I was watching this, and I'm like, damn, this shit, the whole thing, and it's funny, the screens went up, it was always red. And it looked just like a vial of blood being drawn, man. Right? Yeah. They terrify the children, and then they're selling their fear. Right? And they living off the energy of these terrified children. So what is that? That's adrenal porn. And that's another thing, how every time that started being talked about mainstream, distraction rules came. Right? You gotta remember the whole big C thing hit. Right as Epstein, right around the time Epstein died, and all the names of these right, all the names of these Hollywood actors and fake royals and names started getting dropped. All of a sudden, you know, Big C came and he saw, Dr. Fauci. You know, all of a sudden Dr. Fauci came and distracted away from it.
I never heard of that name.
And now you know, right? And now, you know what?
Dr. Zeus.
You know the same shit happened because he was doing the same thing with the HIV back in the day, man.
Wow.
When people were, you know, lying about that. Right? So he been around, man. But had nobody seen him since the 80s. Right? So then he brought this little funny looking Yoda ass out of
the rabbit hole.
Right. They brought that little rabbit nose, you know, brought his little fraudulent ass back to lie some more. You know? But it's like every time, you know, that thing started happening, you know, it's just like those court cases that will happen, the Nuremberg trials. All of a sudden, you ain't hear nothing else about that. As a matter of fact, when you start searching for it on the internet, you can't even. You right, exactly. Nuremberg trials, Bill Cosby. Nuremberg trials, R. Kelly.
Some black niggas.
Meanwhile, Gerard Depardieu, the French the French actor who played Columbus, all right. He just got caught up on multiple rape charges. I saw one article on ANC that heard about it since then. Because, right, all you've been hearing about is Ukraine. Right? They always got to bring it back. Right, it's going to be R. Kelly, Bill Cosby on rotation, and then more and more Black Hebrew Israelites. Right. They throw that out there. That's what they're doing, man. Because like we started off with, they get ready to demonize.
Over there, what they call the royal family, the peasant family over there in England, Prince Andrew, they just had a settlement about some Epstein shit. One of the girls at the time, she was young, she was like 13, 14. Basically, they had a party on them.
Getting not pleased by the little small red X. Right. Still being violated though.
Yep.
Nevertheless, super violent.
It's like, damn, how y'all gonna ain't nobody make me bust? No.
They just sit there old as fuck.
But you know I had to make a joke out of it, but it's disgusting, man.
It's terrible, man. But yeah, they tossed this young lady around. She was like 14 or some shit. Now, you know, she's old as fuck, hit the wall, but she's still crying foul. And she was in there.
She should.
Right,
she got no justice for that shit.
Exactly.
You know, macaroni cheese fries.
So basically they found condemning evidence on Prince Andrew, which is I believe the grandson of Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, and I got a video, an old video with Joe Biden. This is how you know all his hair is fake, because he had no hair back then. But basically, he was talking about if you have one little crack rock, you're going to jail for 5 years. And the whole time, his son smoked crack. Yeah, man. So, look, so you're going to get the same treatment. Right. Hey, look.
Smoking crack. You done locked up a million niggas in smoking. Oh, this nigga gonna say, they got him on Instagram, this nigga, if you ain't vote for me, you ain't black. Hey man, Lord, and we making fun of it, but because the scriptures say we speak with mocking tongues, but we really waiting for the day to fuck you crackers up.
God.
We gonna fuck you brothers up, man. Straight up.
Yeah, because like the elder was talking about how they about to get ready to demonize us. And it's already on different news channels about a restaurant that's supposed to be opened by so-called African black Hebrew Israelites. When they already equating us to Africans. It's only a matter of time before they start selling pork in that mug. But it's supposed to be a vegan restaurant.
Vegan grilled pork chop.
Yeah, because Israelites got nothing to do with Africa. That's Esau doing that ad-lib shit. And, you know, and ad-libbing just basically means you're lying. You know, when you start telling a story, and then we're all guilty of it. But then you spice the story up by adding a few details that really didn't happen. It just makes it sound better. That's Esau does that every day. All right?
See, all we do, when we tell our stories, all we gotta do is throw in a little word, wop, bam, you know, get a great continuation. Esau ain't got the flavor to do that. So he gotta make up some bullshit.
It's back in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, Verse 23, it says, for while they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings
Like that church I was talking about underground.
of strange rites, they kept neither.
Which means they still doing that shit. Alright? Because what was the purpose of her revealing it to you? She let me know it's still moving. Go ahead, Mike.
Verse 24 says, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
Look at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But
My client called Cara and Brad. Alright, but it's Brock, not Brad, Brock. Right? Brock was cool, but you piping down his wife.
Oh, I know
As long as he approves.
As long as he's doing good. He gotta watch. I done had some, I'd have been bouncing and shit in the clubs and dude,
They, matter of fact,
and shit.
they live a couple. They right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get y'all a drink. I'm gonna leave you to the top.
They live, I know they in that area.
Yeah, and they live literally a couple blocks from where you bounce at.
They freaks, man. So we know about this shit, man.
Hey, but it says, Wisdom of Solomon 14:24, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another treacherously or grieved them by adultery.
No doubt. Go ahead.
So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation.
And that's why this wickedness going on in the earth right now. Go ahead.
Corruption, unfaithfulness.
All connected to idolatry.
All of it.
All right? However you cut the cake. Go ahead.
Tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men.
And that's why they be want to put us to death, man. That's why they want to persecute us. Against all this bullshit. That's why their job. That's why they good men. Like the elder said, once you speak against this machine, it's over.
Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good terms, defiling of souls, changing of kind.
Yo, what's that? Hey, the scripture say if a man wounded in the stones, he ain't entering the camp. So you can't be a transformer. Go ahead.
Putting on a woman's garment is abomination.
Yeah, this nigga Tyler Perry on fucking Instagram talking about he reveals that he has sex within his Medea voice. That's nothing new. You fucking punk. Go ahead.
What?
Oh,
man.
So who is he? So you mean a woman wants to hear that she turned on?
He ain't having sex with no woman.
Hey.
Exactly.
I said it. Wow. We didn't reveal that, nigga. We do that.
Wow. So, you know, the first time I saw that Medea shit, well, my cousin was watching that shit. I had no idea. And I was like, who is this big, unruly ass loudmouth nigga? I'm like, this chick look like a dude. Right.
Dude looks like a lady.
Hey.
But you know what? That started early with Flip Wilson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they indoctrinated that entire culture a long time ago.
God.
So it ain't nothing new under the sun. Yeah. Ain't nothing new under the sun.
With the movie with Bill Reyes, where it was like he played that.
Holiday.
Yeah, they started this shit that day.
Right,
That shit was
exactly.
wicked.
Wicked as fuck out there.
The black woman trying to have you watch.
Hey, look, before we get flagged, man, keep reading, man.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 26 again. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good terms, defiling of souls, changing of mind, disorder in marriages, adultery and shameless. It's like adultery and shameless uncleanness.
And you know what perpetuates and keeps all this going? The idolatry, but modern day democracy.
Oh, yeah.
And they
What you say on the phone the
that
other day?
democracy grenade, man. Whatever that violence, hey, democracy is brought in with violence, man.
Yeah,
It's like democracy. Right. It's brought in with violence, man. Wherever that democracy grenade drops, portals come right behind it, man. All right, unruly ass women, strange flesh, you know, transformers, you know, changing shit, you know, all kind of just manners of wickedness, man. You know? That's what happens, man. The destruction of families, the breaking up of families. Women being in look, every woman that's on the workplace, that's a man that doesn't have a job.
God.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
In the business,
Point
that's
blank
out of
period.
line. That should be in line.
Exactly. And then women, and guess what? When women went into the workforce, adultery went up way up.
Way up. Divorce rate.
Divorce rate, right? Because what happens, man? You go to work every day. You get up. You know, they got a perfect system to destroy the family. All right. The father goes to work. The mother goes to work, and the children are stuck in the school learning alphabet shit. All right. The mother goes to work and spends 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, next to a man.
Exactly.
Multiple other men.
All right. And now, over years, they going to lunch, they going to get coffee, they talking. Next thing you know, they in the backseat of the car.
This nigga's wild over here in the background talking about some shit.
She be at work, she talking to her partner, doing on the line, you know, my husband beats me. He only like, oh yeah, tell me all about it.
Hey, what he say? Did he grab you like this? All right.
Hey,
she telling this nigga all the F's on your report card.
Hell, and you know he pillow talking. He pussy begging anyway, laughing.
Exactly.
No,
because he probably ain't got no wife at home. All right? Or even if he did, he don't. You done already told him. You know you my husband. Right. So you know you the work husband. Y'all go to lunch. So you literally spend more time with this man than you do your own husband.
Exactly.
Because then when you get home, you know your husband comes in and he eat and watching TV. Y'all deal with the kids. Y'all might, you know, and you know, once you have kids, your privacy goes down tenfold. All right. So they might not even be clapping like you used to before y'all had to. So, you know, literally, you know, y'all might get it on once or twice a week. But still, you spending more time with this dude than you are with your husband. Right? And that's completely and totally out of order.
And when I got to do it, basically after, like you said, that democracy grade, after the U.S. basically just fucked these people up, all right, took shit over, deboed, all the men were unemployed. And first of all, the unemployment rate was already bad over there. So when they democracy bombed, when they did have jobs, right, the jobs was working on American bases.
Democracy.
Right, right. They kicking in doors, expanding. The only jobs available were on the base, right? Guess who they gave all those jobs to? The women.
God.
So while the men are out of work over there, they trying to fight American troops in sweatpants and AKs. She at home bringing all the bread. What does that do? It causes a chaos in marriages because now she looking at him like, I got to do everything, you know what I mean? Right. When before he used to provide, man. All right, but America, they turn shit upside down, man. And now when they fight against this democracy, now they're called terrorists.
Man, I'm about to do a video on it, bro. I got a chick. I got all the images of her. All right? And first you see her, she's in her hubby.
Her job.
Her job. She's in her job. And I got all, in every image, she's less and less. And now there's a picture of her, bitch fine as hell too. And it just says, and right next to her on her computer, my OnlyFans porn. And she came over here to be an engineer. All right?
Lost and turned down.
She had she's promised to an Arab guy, right? They're both in school, but now she's making more money on Instagram and OnlyFans than she will being an engineer. So she's like,
right. Here she got a free ball day.
And you get from her from you. I'm watching this video. I'm like, I gotta do. You know, but that's what happens when you give me that scripture about giving a woman too much freedom. Right? And so,
and talking about how Israel hates the democracy.
Yeah, because they came and dropped that democracy grenade on Ishmael, man.
Hey, I was at the sandcastle last night.
Doors, boom, democracy.
Democracy.
Right, and next thing you know, your son's shirt twisted, and your daughter twerking. Right? That's what happens. They kick in your door.
Your son wrist just broke.
Right, they drop you down the machine today. And that, right, your son wrist broke. And your daughter is popping up. You know? Exactly. That's what happens, man.
God damn.
Bring it up, brother.
God, this is Sirach, chapter 25, verse 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad.
Right, man. You know, you want to keep your daughters in, man. That's why the scripture said you grab that too. Keep watch over when like when you marry your daughter off, it's a waiting now. And see, I'm not blaming the father. Well, I guess I am in a certain sense because he let his daughter come to America trusting in these devils. But he did try to organize. Look, this man is going to college. He came from this family. He was trying to set it right. Her father was trying to actually set it up. So look, you're gonna get your degree. This guy's in school. You know he's ahead of you. When he comes out, we walk the band. Y'all gonna be together. That's what Daddy said. But now this bitch. No hands.
All it takes is a little bit of liberty that a woman has to have for her to go gather.
That's it. He got it. Read one more verse. Read one more verse.
God, this is Sirach, chapter 25, verse 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. If she go not as thou wouldst have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce and let her go.
God.
That's all these women in America, man. Esau gave them the ultimate package of liberty, of freedom. To do feminism, man. And they go, women, they think they can fight you. They think they can beat your ass down. Like it's crazy.
Weak ass niggas. So these niggas can't beat your ass. That's facts. That's facts. I was thinking about my mama. Look, man, I practice equal rights and left.
That's right.
Right. I was thinking about my mama's woman. And my mama would talk shit to me and she knew I let her.
Right. Exactly. Because she, exactly, man. Even though I'm like that ain't masculine, man.
I ain't trying to hit no woman, man. I ain't really want no woman to be the type. But I ain't about to let no woman put the fuck on.
Hell no. Like he said, they can chest up. They really chest up.
Hey, man, that's a woman, man. That's a female. Dark side of the trade and shit. Hey, man, that's a woman, man.
And you got somebody takes that think like Fred. I've actually had a woman tell me if you wasn't as stern with me as you was, I will try to treat you like. Because I asked her, like, you be trying to treat me like a punk. And she told me later on in life, like, yeah, you know what, you right. If you didn't treat me like that, I probably would. As I seen it. Her mama act strong, her aunties, her sisters, they all act on. And I'm like, nah, that ain't shit. They ain't finna act right here.
They think about their wicked ass daddy, her wicked ass brothers. When she look at you, she sees nothing but a nigga, wicked ass, a nothing ass nigga, but just like the rest of the niggas in her family. But we different, you know, us are the 1/3, man.
Yeah, and women sense that. And you know, because every brother can attest to this. When they start dealing and talking with a woman be like, different.
Of course, yeah.
You know? It's or they'll think you know, you kind of weird.
Right.
Yeah, I like you, but you know, I done heard it many times, man.
This one bitch, she told me, you better than the nigga I was fucking with. You way better than the nigga.
They always say that.
She gonna fuck me too.
But these women, man, and like I told you, when you talking to these wicked ass women, man, you really gotta understand the Lord really gotta deal with you. And this one thing, what makes women know we different, but what makes them want us, we ain't gonna participate in all this. When they find out you don't commit adultery, they really like it. So, what do you mean? That's one thing. You tell them, like women that off top, like shit like that, not eating pork, just not, you know what I'm saying? They know we different, man. They know we different. You said you got mad. Some of them get mad too, like, what? Oh, you mad as fuck. Oh, you get up and ready to fuck me.
Yeah, you know, that's what we do. Because these women is wicked. Wow.
Man,
you know?
Female on her period, this something you ain't gonna go in on. They used to these bitch ass niggas
Yep.
going in on
That's a
their
good
girl.
point.
This bitch told me you act like you scared of a little bug.
Right, she came out with a condom. She said, I got a condom. It ain't shit but a little best.
Man, And that's because of Jason. That's because, and then you got these soft ass niggas in the black consciousness community that kill it. Like my goofy ass brother, right? Talking about, so that's when it's deep. When you have that's when you gonna get some life when you having sex with a woman on their period. Right. So they used to these weird niggas. They think that's deep. They think it's like you gonna get deeper. So you know, you can't be surprised with a lot of these females do because of what these soft ass niggas are down with, man.
Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth, and woman shall compass a man.
Yeah, and that's the problem, man. And when I hear that scripture, it's funny. Every time I hear that scripture, I see Viola Davis's face.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Because in every movie she's in, she's ruling over and controlling men.
I seen it. I watched it 2 days ago. I said, why is she so mad? I was watching it with a non-black woman.
And then when you see her in a relationship, you know, it's just weird, man. It's weird.
But she's so mad.
Yeah, but every movie, she's a head nigga woman in charge. Yeah. And she got a whole bunch of white men with ties on, standing around, and she giving orders. All right.
I want to slap that bitch silly, man.
Yeah, read it again, brother. Somebody put up her face and put it on the camera. And I can't. And it's literally, it's like every time I hear this scripture, I see her face.
She's so angry. Man, I watched the movie with the chick out. I said, why is this bitch so angry? I said, wait till the next scene. I'm trying to wait to see if this bitch gonna change her face. I said, this bitch mad the whole movie. The whole movie.
It's seared in her This is the book of Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
She became a poster woman for that, man. Right?
She look all
It's like every. See? Yeah, man.
That bitch like Black Dynamite. I am smiling.
She is like, right. She's like she's become the poster girl for woman empowerment. Yeah. You know, and the women can rule. It's okay for a woman to rule over, right? She's like the CIA director. She's the president.
Yeah.
You know, what was that?
Yeah, get this one. Show that one. Show the hell to that shit.
Oh, wow.
Hey, because I was going to say, man, hey, that spirit, it trickles into our households, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's why all of our women are into that women empowerment and all of that.
That you go, girl. No, girl, you go home. Right. Right.
Let a sandwich, but you can't drop off the sandwiches, bitch.
Right.
Go make us a sandwich.
Bitch, you better have some fried chicken in that motherfucker. Cornbread.
Go home and go home and cook.
Right.
You know?
Ain't you watching your grandbabies?
Go home and do something.
Women don't even have cookbooks no more. Women, my grandma used to have one. My mom gave my grandma gave it to my mom. Then my mom, she didn't even try to use it. She became one of them modern women. Y'all niggas get noodles and hot dogs.
Some sausage.
Oh man, Unagi, that's deep. Say it again. They traded their cookbooks for Facebook.
Hey.
Right? Game right
Because
there.
they want validation, man. And it's like, I noticed that the new trend on YouTube now is yoga bitches and stretching bitches.
Yes. Ooh, that's a beautiful
Yoga
trend.
bitches was showing that kitty print, camel toe for days, stretching, feet behind the head and shit. It's, it's doing just want attention. There's some bitch in the gym, there's some crazy workout when the bitch is laying on her back with the ropes, the tricep ropes, and she keeps putting two in her face. This is so stupid, man. really, man, this shit is out of order, man.
Hey.
You know, America really has messed the women up here in America, man. And why? Because you know, they pushing that democracy. Like I said, when democracy comes, your son tying up his shirt and switching, and you know, your daughter getting all emasculated, right? Or she either get real emasculated, you know, she gets masculine, right? Or her cheeks start clapping. You know, she started learning how to become a twerk expert. You know, the amount of twerking, you know, and then that's another thing going around. So you mean to tell me, all they gotta do is hold my hands up like this and chill. That's how you get 100,000 views.
Right, yep.
And it's like you and the shits keep popping up. Once you click on one, they won't stop.
Right.
You know, because you know, I consider, man, I'm a man, so I see some big old.
You go right on that shit.
So I'm like, damn, it's only 10 seconds long. right. I'm just like.
And now it's like an algorithm.
Right.
Esau, you're a demon, man. You're a demon, man. Hey, that comes from collecting data. That's why there's a war over your data, man. That's why there's so many lawsuits against Facebook over data. When you click on anything, they're going to put it in your algorithm. You're going to constantly see it. That's how Esau.
And you may not even been interested in that way. You just like,
Exactly.
this is about, shit, you click it off, but the shit keeps reoccurring.
Yep.
So next thing you know, you.
Yep. That's called
And 20 minutes been around, all you've been watching is different pictures.
all flavors, man.
Damn demon, man.
I was doing Lyft a couple years back, and this lady, I picked up this lady, and she was, I don't know how the conversation about long story short, she started saying that she works for a company that basically that tunes into your TV, smart TV. They don't hear it. Talk about. That's how they pick and choose what commercials they're going to do.
Wow.
I thought you was going to say 100 and some bucks.
Alexa. That's that shit, man. That shit is basic shit, and it's all leading up to the MOTV. I mean, that's basically what it's all leading up to. It's all roads at this point are leading up to the MOTV.
Claim.
I was in this house. I had real quick going back to that Alexa bullshit. I was in this house. It was just the first time I've been to a house like this. I was in West Palm Beach, and the fucking house started talking to the bitch. When the bitch came in the house said her name. It said it's Thursday, and the garbage must be taken out of sun. So I said, "Bitch, you okay?"
You can get your stance.
Right.
I jumped off the couch, bitch. Right here.
A house servant too.
I felt like that nigga on belly.
Oh, man,
That shit a demon, man.
It is, man, and it's all invasive. Right. So what happens when that type of technology turns on you?
Now you can't leave.
When you're right, now you just can't leave. Right. And then they tell you, hey, the people's coming to you right now.
Woo.
Be here in 10 minutes. Exactly.
It's Psalms 83:3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against the hidden ones. They said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name Israel may be no more
in remembrance. Yep.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Like all the others were saying, all the stuff that's going on is pre-programming to cut us off, to have us persuaded to not to follow Yahweh Shem Shah, to try to take our heritage with all this subliminal messages, all this corruption, and all this pre-programming. But you know what I mean?
To cut us off from our substance, from that holy milk, from these scriptures. You know, everything's a distraction to distract you away from God. All right?
This is Sirach 11:29. Bring not every man into thy house, for the deceitful man has many trains. That word train is deception. It's got a lot of trickery. You know, that's why the scriptures talk about the wiles of the devil. You know what I mean? Basically, dodging the darts of the wicked, man. All right? When you go to that word wiles, it goes into the trickery, it's the deception, man. All right? That's all Esau is up to, like Naomi, right? He always has tricks. That's right. There's always a scheme. There's always a plot. There's always some bullshit behind Esau, man.
Right. You know what? Psalm 62, verse 3. It says, "How long will you imagine mischief against a man? He shall be slain, all of you. As a born wall shall you be as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly." Say, that's the setup.
Yeah, it's like you said, we're clean. We're against their way, they're against us.
Right.
Right? Point period. They against our way. And our way is the scriptures. Right. And they not with that. They not with that at all. Because they were, holding the Bible. And now all this history is coming out via these via the snow women, via the White Castle. They telling about cannibalism. That was a regular thing. I knew about the picnic and the picnic. I didn't realize that they were actually eating these decks that they were torturing and killing. And these are Christians. These were Christians who would leave church, and then mobs of them, thousands of them, hundreds and sometimes thousands of them, would descend upon, a couple of unfortunate Jakes, beat and torture them, and put their bodies in there, and it was actually a picnic. And they would share the body parts, eat some of the body parts, take pictures and posters. And all this history is coming from their own people.
It was one. I was just gonna say, when you was going to the cannibalism, I was reading something the other day, and they had a picture. It had a picture like how like an old school Thanksgiving plate, and they said what you really witnessing is a Boston butt roast. So it was a Negro's ass, man. Right in this family, like they was having family dinner. But it was from like the Elder Malcolm was saying, a mutilated nigga, man. They call it the Boston butt roast.
Wow.
That was wicked as hell, man. You see? Yeah. The elite. Yeah.
Only a devil could do that, Joe.
It's Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. So like we was talking about now, these wicked people are doing this shit forever, and Yahweh Shai allowed them for a season to do this wicked and abominable shit. But their time is coming to an end. That's why we out here.
That's right.
So that shit is up. It's over.
It's not to be named. It's the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. Hey, see, because right now we're coming in the end times, man. Like the elder said, things are about to be turned right side up, man.
Right.
Hey, our teachers haven't been moved in the corner anymore.
Right.
Hey, this truth is going forth around the four corners of the globe, man.
Right. This is Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. They put darkness for light and light for darkness. They put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. This is what they've been doing. You know what I mean? All these wicked elites, all these abominable and destructive elements, they turn the world upside down, but we about to fix that right away. It's just hopefully late. Yahweh Shai got us on deck. They will continue to do this wicked and abominable shit in the sight of the Most High. You think he ain't been watching? You think he ain't been paying note? You think he not taking a tally on what y'all doing? Hey, you can forget it.
God. Right. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you good instead of get some good. Yeah. So that's what we're doing instead of good. We're the last thing that's good on this planet, man. All right, it's good in the eyes of the Lord, not towards ourselves. So the fight has always been good against evil. Right, man. Now it's coming to the end where good is just going to reign eternally.
Yeah, because like the brother read that scripture, man. Hey, Esau, Edom's job is to take us away from our excellency.
Right.
Which is the word. That's our only defense against the wiles of this damn devil, man. But it's Psalms chapter 7, verse 10. It says, my defense is of the Most High, Yahweh, which saveth the upright in heart. Yahweh judges the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. And so there's only a short amount of time, like the brother said. There's a short amount of time that these devils have to continue to rule over our people and feed us lies and democracy as they have done.
It's Amos 5:10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. And that's what we're doing out here, day in and day out. We speaking uprightly against these atrocities that happened back then and that Yahweh Shemel Shah's got slack on his promise to condemn you devils. And it's about to happen shortly. All we have to do is endure and do what we need to do.
And the devil, he said, man, the things that this devil has done to us in the dark, now he just does it in the light, man. Hey, we're here to condemn that shit, man. All right? Hey, man, I was just reading something, because we were talking about how Esau likes to engage in cannibalism. Nat Turner, after they had captured him, all right, that slave that led that glorious slave rebellion, all right, when they got him, man, they skinned him, they turned the skin into souvenirs, they made purses, purses and wallets, they ate them, all right, they barbecued, they ate them, all right, this is what they did, man, you know, and then like the other was getting up, man, all right, all this stuff is documented, a lot of it is being brung out by your own damn people, you know. Yeah, this is a book called the Delectable Negro. That's what you say about a piece of cake, a piece of chicken. It tastes really good. All right, it says by Vincent Woodard, and it says human consumption and homoeroticism within the U.S. slave market. So I wanted to get this book from Howard Rontazar, and that's okay. While the elder showing you that. This is the definition of homoerotism or homoerotic. Concerning
they were eating us.
It's concerning or arousing sexual desire centered on the person of the same sex. So Esau, he purposely did that. So basically, Esau was raping you, then cooking and eating you.
And you people don't want vengeance, man.
Right. That's right. This is the man that you vote for. This is the man that you put over you. This is the man, these are the men, the descendants, the southern poverty center, which decide what's wicked, what's hateful. This is their fathers, their forefathers. Right. They are those men. That's right. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a sit down on their origins and try to go in and see how many slave owners that were among them. All right? The southern poverty. You know, one that always attack the black Hebrew Israelites. It's just Hebrew Israelites, man. Stop. This is the definition of delectable, delicious, synonyms, mouth-watering, appetizing, very enjoyable. So the delectable Negro. They hated us, but when they were using us to satisfy their wickedness, they loved us. All right? Very palatable. Because palatable, you taste good. They were eating, man. These people really were eating us, man. Yeah. You know? So man, you tell a fool to eat a dick, they got a whole new meaning to it. To them. Right. It's like, wait a minute.
Hey.
Now you had to know on top of you might get that far.
Wow.
Right.
A lot of these TV shows that they use a lot of them fucking references. You know, like Game of Thrones. Last Kingdom. They always making these references, related to some alternative lifestyle stuff.
I got that. This is Romans 1 and 24. Wherefore the power also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the power into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause, the power gave them up to vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise, also men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another man.
There you go, man. That was those slave owners for sure, man.
Right.
All right.
With men working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat.
So it's unseemly for a woman to lie with the woman, a man to lie with the man. And then when the Lord was jacking along with destruction, with those diseases, hey, that was meat. Go ahead.
And even as they did not like to retain the power in their knowledge, the power gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Right. So Yahweh Shai has cast them fools out for destruction, for their bitter judgment, because their wicked hearts always can. Let it be righteous still, and he that is holy, let it be holy still. So Yahweh Shai has already set in motion, and we were in our lot. You wicked people who have been wicked your whole lives, unfortunately, your ass going right back to where you started. For his righteous men, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is hopefully elect. We ain't gonna stand in our lot. That's why we're out here on the highways and byways preaching this truth to those who would hear, calling Israel to repentance and to the other wicked downfall and destruction, along with Esau and Idumea, aka America. We don't give a damn about what you think. It's about what the word says. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua's word is pure and true. There's no gainsaying against the truth. That's why we out here, standing boldly in our lot, telling you clowns it's a wrap.
Yeah, because Biden's pretty much said that, hey, look, man, it's getting ready to be a food famine, man. So guess what? We've been talking about how they were eating us. They get ready to start eating people again.
Right.
And niggas got no discipline, man. None, all right? They got none whatsoever. And the moment they get hungry, ain't no food, man, they can start knocking their neighbors over the head, man. After they start kicking their doors and trying to take food, with all these single independent women, yeah. After they run through you and all your food, man, and you ain't got no food left, you actually, right, you gonna be the food. You gonna be the food. And that time is upon us, man.
This is Lamentations 4:10. Lamentations 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
So it's best to die fighting, all right, trying to defend yourself for your food, than to actually live through it, all right? Because it'll be better if you know if you actually died fighting than it would to starve to death. Right, and not only that, man, a lot of you people are actually going to be eaten.
Yep, right.
You know, I said it, and the day going to come, man, you lose a street fight, you actually going to be put in the pot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you lose a fight, man, that's it. Right, niggas going to knock you out. Right. You know, right. Getting faded, man, you really go right. They going to fade your ass. Right? And fade your ass. Hey,
say, hold on, take that back. I'm on mine frying hard.
He was cool, man. We got to fry his ass hard now. That's why the scripture say the love of many shall wax cold.
It's going to wax cold, man.
It's not even an exaggeration. The brother's not exaggerating. This is about to become reality.
Because we dead serious, man.
It's not exaggerating.
Man, we deadly serious up here. The food famine is upon you, man. Right. It's going to hit this year.
Yep.
Right? It's actually going to hit. Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Lamentations 4, I'm going to start at 9 again. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. And here's the point. The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. Sodden means boiled. Right? They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people.
Which means you have to kill your child before you sodden, before you sodden, before you born. So you just so that same little baby that you really didn't give a shit about, you just wanted to collect child support on anyway. Right. All right. Now, unfortunately, the damn child is probably better off dead than having your skank ass for a mama anyway. That's right. Yeah. All right. Right. You know, you did the child of faith. You know, put him there. He just goes straight to the spirit world.